Weather Brief, just a 10-minute podcast coming at you with all of the latest weather information that you need for the week. Anything you might have missed, a couple of former broadcast meteorologists. I'm Emily Gracey alongside
Kerrin, Jeromin. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for another weekly weather brief. Glad to have you here. Emily, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. Life is kind of settling down again. We have had a crazy month, but things are settling down. At least in my world, in the weather world, it has been kind of chaotic this week.
It has, yeah, super busy. Same here. Very busy in the personal life, and I came ready for this show and went, whoa, we've got a lot to talk about. We've got
we do.
Super typhoons, we've got heat, we've got severe weather, we got snow, we got it all this week. So we
literally
dive
have
in.
Every type of weather.
Yeah. Take your pick. We've got some favorites here. I just want to disclaimer, I am celebrating the week with a glass of my favorite beverage. It is beer in a wine glass, by the way.
I like your
because I'm classy
is
like that.
Is that your way of saying this is not a full pour? It's just beer in a wine glass.
It's my way of saying I'm a classy lady.
I'm not going to judge. I think it's well deserved this week. We got a lot to run down. Tell me, as you're taking your first sip, what caught your eye the most this week? It's a big sigh.
I think we've got quite a few. I want to say the severe weather in the Midwest was really captivating for me this week, because it's not just the first time we've been talking severe weather in the upper Midwest and Great Lakes region. This is like the second, third time we've brought it up on this show. And once again this week, parts of Michigan, Minnesota, Iowa, all these areas had tornadoes, large hail, high winds, and severe weather, even flooding in parts of the Great Lakes. And so this feels early, again, still for this part of the country to be getting rounds and rounds of severe weather. Did you see this setup?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there were some moments on social media that really stood out. I think the flooding in Michigan, definitely noteworthy. That's something Sheboygan Dam is going to be dealing with through the weekend, flood warnings there. There could be some evacuations happening, and I just hope that everybody has their multiple forms of getting information, because weather radio, phone, something may fail. So if you are in these areas, if you're in any area at risk of flooding, that is so crucial to have multiple levels where you can get your warnings in case they do need to evacuate. So a little bit of a scary situation there.
Yeah. You mentioned the dam, of course, and then the area's just been hit with rounds and rounds of rain, so the ground is very wet, and it once you get in that kind of a situation, it doesn't take a whole lot more rain to cause flooding. So yes, I agree with you there. I hope everyone is paying attention to the weather and has ways to get alerts and a plan in place. Because, like I said, this is something we typically see in the Deep South this time of year, April. And then eventually it creeps up to the Great Lakes in the summer. But this is early for this part of the country. So got to stay on guard and aware if that's where you are listening from.
Yeah. And, to pivot a little to the things that are cool about severe weather, did you see this drone footage that popped up? I believe the name of the research group is Otis, the Otis Project.
Yes.
And they captured the first 360 drone view of the inside of a tornado. And when I saw it, I was like, what am I looking at here? And it took me a minute, and I had to go back and watch from the beginning of them entering the tornado and then looking down into it. It's wild. They own this video, so we're not going to show it, but we can link it in our show notes so you can check it out. But it's wild. And it's in the name of research. I mean, it's cool, but they're
Absolutely.
also
they're
studying this too. They're studying the thermodynamics, the 3D winds. But they're storm chasers, so they're getting a little bit of a thrill out of it too, and probably making a little money on that video.
I think just a little bit. Yeah, I did see that video. It's amazing. And like you said, the Otis Project is the name of the group, stands for Observations of Tornadoes by UAV Systems, or, essentially drones. And I think it's so cool that we now have this ability, right, to see tornadoes from this new perspective. It made me think back to the really early days of studying tornadoes and the great research done by, the likes of Dr. Roger Wakimoto, in that area, when they were looking at tornadoes through pictures and then trying to figure out how they work and lining them up with these diagrams. And I just think this kind of visual that we're now getting with drones is going to introduce a whole new layer of research and knowledge to help us understand these things even better than we do now. So I think, that's just really cool to me.
It is cool. Your mind went definitely a nerdier direction than mine. I was like, this sounds like something Dr. Joe Harding would be doing in Twister. It made me think of the movies.
Too. We all love that one.
But
I mean, that's what inspired a lot of us. So
Right. exactly. So hopefully this inspires like a new generation of meteorologists. That would be pretty cool.
I think so.
All right.
Cheers to being a Twister meteorologist, by the way, a Twister
all right.
movie
Absolutely.
meteorologist.
So we're kind of bumping our way through the hazards here. We got flooding, tornado, heat, super typhoons. This is wild. Did you see this? Sinlaku? Am I saying that correctly?
I did. Over in the Western Pacific.
Yeah.
Yeah, super typhoon Sinlaku. That thing grew to a beast. It was like 185 mile per hour winds. One of the strongest super typhoons this early in the year in that part of the world. So very crazy stuff. What caught your eye besides the incredible satellite imagery, I'm sure?
Oh, yeah, always. You know me too well.
Always.
So that part was cool, but also really haunting because you can really see it moving over these islands, like the eye moving over Saipan, and like the Mariana Islands got hit Tuesday night, like the equivalent of Category 4 hurricane, but we call it typhoon because it's in this part of the Pacific. And so when you think about just how vulnerable some of these small Mariana Islands are, and they're getting hit with these Category 4 level winds, and this thing got even stronger than that over the ocean.
Yeah, over 180 miles an hour wind. I mean, you can't even imagine that on a small island, right? Where do you go, and what structures do you seek shelter in? Yeah, it was intense. Which, quick, of course, weather education. We like to do that here on the show. It's called a typhoon in certain parts of the world, this being the case in Western Pacific, but it's really the same tropical cyclone as a hurricane, right? The terms are interchangeable in different parts of the world.
Yes. Yeah. But the damage is the same. The strength is the same. And this was definitely a doozy. I read that there was one hospital on the island of Saipan, and that is terrifying because it was damaged. And so I think this is still relatively fresh, and they're going to be kind of looking at this damage here over the next couple of days. Guam was hit pretty hard too, so time will tell. But hopefully people are getting the help they need. But our wishes go out to them.
Yep.
Best well wishes.
Of course. And, hurricane season hardly has ramped up in the Atlantic. It starts in June. The other parts of the Pacific, it's May. So this certainly is quite early to be talking about this intensity of a typhoon. Yeah. So yes, definitely caught my attention this week. What else? Okay, we've talked severe. We've talked typhoons. How about snow?
Oh,
any
snow? Did you see Colorado? My gosh,
I did.
75 car pileup. This is your old stomping grounds. Did you look into this at all?
Absolutely. Yeah. I saw all my friends who I know very well out in Colorado talking about this, snow-induced nearly 70 car pileup on Interstate 70. It's the main vein that runs through the state. Crazy. Colorado State Police pointing to heavy snow the afternoon right before this crash, leading to slick driving conditions, which we hate to hear about. But absolutely crazy. I know the area so well. It's coming right over a mountain pass out of this very highly trafficked tunnel. And can you imagine being on the road, just one car after another? Hit. It's got to be terrifying, right?
Yeah. I mean, it will trust you on this. I've lived in the South for a while, so I'm a little out of touch with the snow driving. But yeah, it sounds like a nightmare to me. And just crazy that like this time of year, we're still talking about snow. But I guess not that crazy.
They haven't had much in Colorado, so this is one of the few hits. And there you go. They get this terrible accident, and hoping everyone is okay. I know they had about 20 hospitalizations or so. No deaths that I have heard of, thank goodness. But yeah, the interstate closed for some 5 hours or so when that happened on Tuesday. So big deal there. And spring snow definitely still means business.
Yeah.
Crazy
Meantime,
stuff.
There's like red flag warnings in much of the country, and we're in a drought here in South Carolina. Literally everything on the map this week when it comes to weather. Oh, we didn't talk about one thing. I have one more thing. You ready for this?
Hit me with it.
Take a drink first, because this is a good one.
Cheers.
You ready? Space weather.
Ooh.
Did I catch your attention? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So, and we were talking about this before we started recording, and Kerrin has thoughts, but we could view the Aurora Borealis this weekend as a forecast coming from NOAA for a G2 storm, meaning that there could be visible northern lights Friday night into Saturday in some of those northern tier states. Kerrin, what do you think of this?
Why do you put me on the spot like that? I love you, but why do you do that?
Okay, my take, because I know you don't like angering people, but I want to say, just to preface this, weather forecasting has gotten really good in like the past 50 years. Space weather forecasting is a work in progress, right?
I think it's the interpretation of it, right? Because as you say that, everyone goes outside at 2 a.m. and looks out to the sky and says, "Where are my northern lights?" Right? But there are so many caveats, right? Because there really are ways that you can tell maybe a day or two in advance. Like you said, the geomagnetic storms great. But then it really does take coming up to that time, like a couple hours beforehand to see if conditions are right. And I swear every time I go outside and I have the right conditions, it's cloudy or something. So I'm bitter about Northern Lights. So I'm hopeful and hope everyone gets to see them. Not anything memorable. I think I saw it in college once, but it was so faint. I'm not even sure it was it, that kind of thing. So I need to see it in life. Have you seen it?
I have, but I saw them in Iceland when I was there last winter. But they were visible in South Carolina. Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll see them, maybe we won't, but it's exciting at least to talk about because it's something fun and, something to look forward to. We need that this week after this wild weather.
Yeah, get away from city lights, get away from your house lights, and look to the northern sky. My mom's going to text me, I know. So, Mom, there are your couple of pointers to how to see them.
Nice.
All right, my friend Emily, I think we've reached our time. So, as always, the shameless plug. We hope you are enjoying this new podcast. We're on Apple, Spotify, and you can watch us on YouTube as well. If you're not watching there, we love to see faces. So here we are. And we're also still new to this, right? Emily and I have other jobs, so we're not always watching every corner of the country. So we do welcome you to talk to us on social media. Emily Gracey, you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, I assume all the platforms.
All the things. Reach out anywhere.
Same. And I'm meteorologist Kerrin Jeromin. If you can figure out how to spell it, you can find me. But let us know what's happening in your corner of the country, and maybe we'll even talk about it. Great to see you, Emily. Have a great weekend.
Good to see you too, Kerrin. Thanks. Bye.
Bye, everyone.